everybody!
Hey everybody!
We're back with X-Files by Moonlight.
Yay!
Yay! So this video is going to be about the next episode, which is the second to last episode of the season 11, or possibly the whole series. We shall see.
Yeah, and before we get into this episode, I gotta say, I thought that we were coming on a two-part episode.
Of the season finale?
Was the season finale.
Nope.
So the season finale is just going to be one episode.
Yes.
And I guess probably just an hour long.
Which they didn't do that for season 9. It was a 2-hour
was it two-part?
series, a two-part season. Well, actually, it wasn't 2-part. I'm pretty sure it was a 2-hour series finale.
Well, maybe this one will be 2 hours.
I don't think so.
But they say it might be a series finale. Or
a season finale.
They're calling it a season finale.
I don't know. We'll talk about this afterwards.
Okay, but anyway, the point is, last week we were like thinking we were about to have the finale, the 2-part finale, and that's because they showed us the trailer,
right? And they
for the finale for next week.
But it also had. It also had like little parts of this episode in it, but they kind of did it in a tricky way. I don't know, to make it seem like it was a 2-parter.
And then the title of this one is what?
Nothing Lasts Forever.
So it sounds like the finale.
Here.
But had nothing. It was, well, I can't say it had nothing to do with the finale, but it seemed like a standalone episode.
Or it did. I agree with that. But it was almost like. A lot of people online are saying that that this was their ending. They would have preferred it to just end like that, like in the church, kind of hopeful.
Oh, with that little whisper that we'll talk about later.
Yeah, spoilers. Yeah.
Spoilers.
So, but so what did you think about this episode overall?
I thought it was a cool episode. I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah. There were some annoyances that we'll talk about.
For this particular episode, we're not going to get into specifics about the storyline. I feel like because it goes back and forth a lot.
What do you mean? Not getting into specifics.
As far as like the exact scene for scene shots.
Well, yeah, but you know.
But
we're going to give a rough synopsis.
Yeah. So the synopsis is. Mulder and Scully are investigating this underground organ...
like our organ harvesting situation.
Yeah.
That is a little weird because they find the bodies and like... one person has been eating the organs and...
Right.
And then somebody like staked that person... And
well,
it looked like some kind of like person thinking they were vampires.
Are you talking about the first scene?
I'm talking about...
Or just overall?
What was the first... I'm talking about the first scene, yeah, when they... Like, I'm talking about when they come in to investigate that first scene. First scene is an organ harvesting scene.
Right, the doctors.
And in the process, they start eating the organs. Mm-hmm. The 2 doctors working.
One of the doctors.
And then
the other doctor puts the organ into a bag. He seems almost disgusted by it.
Yeah,
but
not too disgusted by it. Mm-mm. And then it's like Mulder and Scully investigating, right? Am I missing something?
No, you're missing the girl coming in and...
a girl comes in and it looks...
Almost like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
To me it looked like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something. Like all of a sudden they were trying to introduce like superheroes to X-Files. That's what I thought in the beginning. As it went along, it was a little different, but...
Immediately... Okay, so the first scene wasn't too bad, but... like she has this chew bubblegum and kick-ass kind of line that she says all the time, and it's just it's a little annoying for me.
Well, it's like it was just St. Patrick's Day. We were watching Boondock Saints, and it's like when they say their prayer before they...
Oh,
is
no,
that the part
I love...
you're talking about?
Well, yeah.
I know you love the Boondock Saints, but it was that kind of deal.
But I love every time they say the prayer in Boondock Saints.
Yeah, I know, because it's...
I love it.
It's less annoying, and the characters are less annoying.
This
character was a little bit annoying.
Yeah. Like, Boondock Saints are badass, and they say their prayer, and it's badass, and you're just like, yes, okay.
But it was the same attempt at the same kind of thing.
This was totally different.
So basically, there's this girl, and she is killing these. It's really a cult a vampire-like cult. They're not vampires, but it's actually a science thing. But we'll get into that. But she comes in and stakes them, and she's all religious, and she does like her religious like statement before she or after she stakes them or something, right? I don't remember what she says, but
for those that love me, I will deliver.
Yeah, something like that. But it's just it's very the way they tried to make her look at the beginning was like I said, like some kind of superhero, nighttime superhero, like something on Gotham or something like that. But the way she acts is what makes her a little bit annoying. She's always distressed sounding. She's like and they didn't really get into this as far as her character, as far as like why she's like this, and that was a little frustrating for me.
Well, they did. I mean, her sister.
We know that she's doing this because her sister
left
was
for the cult.
Kind of, I don't know, disfigured or something, and so she left and joined this cult, and she went, after her. But
and the cult,
this girl seems like she's got other issues to me beyond just my sister left. This girl seems like she's brainwashed in her own cult kind of thing. She's like extreme. I guess she's extremely religious.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
But she's also on this whole like vampire hunter kick, and we don't even know how she found out about this stuff or anything.
The sister leaves a letter.
Did she leave a letter? Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that letter. Was it in English? Because I know there was a lot.
It was in English.
The mother didn't speak in English at all.
The sister left the letter explaining what happened. The sister went off to this cult because she wanted to be beautiful, and the basis of this cult is the fact that these people are feeding off of each other's blood.
Did she explain that in the letter?
In order to get their life force. No, but you.
Well, that's what I mean. She's got this idea that they're vampires already.
Well, she explains in the letter. She says, "I'm sorry, I have to leave so that I can be the beautiful self that I know I can be," or something like that. You know what I mean? And
that doesn't tell me that they're vampires.
You can infer that the other sister reads this letter and she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna go find out where she is." You know what I mean? And she finds out where she is.
Okay, she probably just figured it out.
You don't need all that stuff.
I guess, but I needed more reason for the way she acted. For me, it wasn't enough because she was just going around like somebody on a really obsessive mission. I mean, beyond what I thought was going on. Now she did. I guess she knew a lot about the cult. I guess.
Yeah, she's been.
But if she knows that much about
it,
I needed to see more about that. I needed more on that character. For the way she was acting, because she was acting really annoying. You agreed with me on that.
Yeah, but not for those reasons. My reasons are different than yours.
I wanted more reason for the fact that she constantly was in distress all the time, and her voice shaking, and like I don't know, it was just excessive.
That's her portrayal of the character, and I feel like somebody else possibly could have done it in a more believable way.
Well, if there was a reason for it, I'd be okay with it. I just felt like it was excessive. I don't know.
Like, I don't remember Sarah Michelle Gellar when she was staking vampires ever acting that way.
No, I know. That's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying.
Why is she acting that way? You know what I mean?
It's her choice.
I
guess she made the choice to act like that. But if I had gone in there playing that character, I would not have been acting like that, I guess. I would have been like... I think we're more conditioned to see more badass people, and this girl is not.
She always
wasn't really like a badass. She was like more emotional about it all.
I guess,
stuff.
But shouldn't be doing it if you're gonna be freaking out. Go to the police.
Valid.
Go to the police.
Yeah.
Maybe they wouldn't do anything. I don't know, but anyway.
But you wouldn't have a story then. Anyway, so her sister went to this cult, and the leader of this cult is a ex-starlet. She used to be in 1960s television shows, and they actually show her watching her own television shows. And very much like I Love Lucy and Dick Van Dyke. Very much of that realm, and
it was super like more cheesy than those shows even are.
Yeah, absolutely. It was almost like a Yeah.
Well, it was a parody. They've been doing a lot of that kind of thing.
I don't know. Have you seen I Love Lucy recently?
I know.
It's pretty close to I Love Lucy. Not Dick Van Dyke, but
it seemed a little bit cheesier to me.
Lucy.
But yeah, I know I Love Lucy gets kind of.
Yeah. But like that was in the 40s, and by the 60s, the
No, I Love Lucy wasn't the 40s.
Sorry, the 50s.
Yeah.
And by the 60s, the comedians were a little more
realistic or goofy or what?
They weren't as goofy. They weren't as slapstick.
Yeah, it wasn't as exaggerated, I guess. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But anyway, so yeah, she was acting, and I guess at some point she didn't want to get old anymore, so she started eating people. Or she met this doctor.
Well, it was the doctor.
She met the doctor scientist who wanted to.
Had like he had been experimenting.
He fell in love with her and stuff, and
he had developed this way to stay young, and the way you do it is you sew yourself up to somebody who's young, and it's like
cutting you feed off of their organs,
cutting your into your spine and connecting the body some way, and it you drain their organs basically.
So many people thought this episode was so gory.
Yeah, this was a big thing about this episode.
I loved it.
It was very gory.
I loved it.
It was, I guess it was gory than any previous episode of the X-Files from the reaction there.
I would say so, yeah.
And some people had a real issue with it, like they were really bitching about it.
Did you notice that online?
Yeah, I noticed it in some we
some videos.
Looked into some stuff.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I guess a lot of people who watch X-Files aren't more into the horror thing. I don't know. But
that's weird to me. It's like it is horror.
Well, no, but
maybe they just think they're getting.
You can be into horror and not like gore. I get that.
Yeah, no, I don't really care for. Well, that's what I'm going to say. I don't care for gore.
Right.
I know people who that's their whole thing, and I'm always like, why do you like gore so much? But I mean, it's cool if you like it. But
it's not my whole thing. But I'm not bothered by it. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
I'm not bothered by it being in a movie. But I don't like to look at it. Like I will wince. I will because like one of the people we heard talking about it was saying how it caused her physical pain to see it.
Yeah,
I have that problem. I feel it in my everything. You know, like I can feel the pain when I'm seeing it.
I don't.
And so it's very very difficult for me to watch painful looking stuff. And gore, and that's why I have an issue with gore.
I love watching autopsies and
I don't get that, see? And I mean,
cooking the Thanksgiving turkey.
Whatever. But, yeah, see, like when I'm chopping up a chicken, if I think about it too much, I can't do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the bones and everything, like a whole chicken with the bones and everything, you gotta break, when you're like breaking bones and stuff. I have to not think about what I'm doing. Okay. Because it's just, it grosses me out. But I'm not opposed to it being in a movie if it serves a purpose and everything. Yeah. Or even when they're hamming it up, like I love the Evil Dead movies and have a lot of blood and gore. And
a lot of people
even though it's kind of fake-ish looking.
A lot of people were comparing this to the episode Home, which is the one about the incestuous family. About how that was taken off the air and it was actually banned from the airwaves for a while because it was so. Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't believe in that. Censorship and all that.
But I don't know if this episode had been on, in the 90s, if they had done that, if they would have done that or what. But I guess so.
To me, this was more gratuitous than. I mean, like, it's been a while since I've watched Home, but I've seen it a few times. Mm-hmm.
See,
if it's just on like the ideas, the concepts, come on.
Well, I think to me, Home was a darker episode. It was a darker episode. It was
the concepts.
The concept, the heart to it was a lot darker. This was almost kind of comical to me.
Yeah. But the issue was the visuals.
But.
In this one, it was the.
And visuals. I'm not. I guess the visuals don't get me. It's more of the idea. It's hard to describe. This one felt very on the surface, whereas Home felt very, very like internal and disheartening, and it was just very deep. You know what I mean?
It was the subject matter. It wasn't the visuals, and and I cannot understand censoring that just for the. I mean, not that this was censored, but people, there was an uproar,
Right.
You know, and they was censored home because they took it off.
Yeah.
So I guess that was censored, but yeah, I mean, I don't think either one
But
needs to be censored. But
a lot of people were disturbed by that episode.
Yeah,
just like this one, I guess.
But I get it more when it's visuals because you're looking at it, you know.
Yeah.
But I still don't agree with any cry to censor anything or take anything down. Or
I don't
whatever.
either.
But like I said, I don't have a problem with it. I will just squint my eyes if I can't handle it or turn away. But I mean, I can, for the most part, I can handle it. But I don't really want to. I don't want to look. I don't like it. I don't know. It was a gross episode. It was gory and gross. And it was gratuitously so. It was it was gory for the sake of it. It was part of the plot, but they of course didn't need to. You know what? You can
always work your way around it.
We watch a lot of old black and white movies. I mean, and you can tell like stories and even stuff like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, you don't have to see that stuff to get the point.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I have any issue with it.
No, not at all.
You see it, that's what it looks like, so. But yeah, anyway, I guess that's all I want to say on that.
So, I think we're saying that, I think we were just explaining about how the sister was in this cult and she was a starlet and
the sister was, the cult leader is a starlet and her partner is this doctor who's, they're basically in a relationship. The doctor's obviously the one in love.
Yeah.
with the star.
The starlet just wants to stay young.
Yeah, and then they've got all these young people that they keep around, and they're basically draining their blood and their organs. And when they choose to, when they need to, they'll kill one and eat their organs, I guess.
And stuff
and
like
they'll
that.
attach them to themselves and a variety of things. And so it's not vampires, but it's a theme of a vampire-ish theme.
Yeah.
And they've just got them like they're in this house and I guess a house, and they've just got them laying around like it's like a one of those crack houses or something. They're like orgying on the floor.
And throughout this whole episode, you really do see there's a lot of Mulder and Scully in the cathedral at church.
Yeah.
There's a lot of flashing back to that and back to what's going on over there.
Yeah, there's a big religious theme of the whole
it's like
episode.
Scully's really struggling with something, and we assume that it's the whole William thing, and but I don't know, the theme of the show is about not aging, so I don't know if it's more. I think maybe it's her biological time clock
the
also.
theme is it's about your mortality. It's about dying because like a big part of it is also religion and Mulder not being religious and Scully is religious,
right?
And they kind of discuss that a lot and. There's I think there's sort of a whole and there's aging, which is part of it, and they bring up how
they make little
Mulder's
jokes about
aging
that.
and he's got to wear glasses now, and
which there's a continuity error there.
Oh, because he wore glasses a lot.
Mulder wore glasses in the first season of the X-Files quite a bit. Or maybe it was just one episode, but I'm pretty sure he wore it for them for a while.
I don't remember that. We're when we're done with this season, we're gonna start up on the first episode of X-Files.
It's like the first episode when she walks in the door to meet him. He's wearing glasses.
I'll have to see that because I don't remember I don't remember much of the old.
So that I will say there were a lot of references to him, wearing glasses now, and I couldn't enjoy them as much as somebody who wouldn't know that, because I was like, oh my gosh, Mulder, you wore glasses. You know, it was bugging me a lot.
Yeah, it's a continuity
I feel like
issue.
they shouldn't forget something like that.
Right.
And even
if it was one episode, then I wouldn't be surprised.
I know.
Especially if it was like an early episode.
It was the very first episode. So.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if he continued to wear glasses or not. I know Scully wore glasses quite a bit, but I don't remember if he did. But yeah, you were saying that it is very much a biblical theme and mortality. We don't know. I guess that's what Scully is struggling with. She's struggling with the idea that she's not going to be around for forever, and
people are always telling her about how she's getting old too. Like she gets another like snide comment,
which is ridiculous because she doesn't look that. I mean, she looks good still. And I mean,
most of the time she does. I have to admit, most of the time she doesn't look that old.
And but Mulder, there was a comment in the media about how Mulder finally got his little side comment about him having to wear glasses. They kind of like addressed that or whatever. But yeah, there was a fun moment that is kind of in our shipper count that we'll mention later. But this girl. Mulder and Scully find this girl because she is associated with the sister who's gone missing, and they go and talk to the girl and the mother, and I'm talking about the Slayer girl, and the Slayer girl wants nothing to do with them, and you know basically she shuts the door on Mulder and Scully helping her, and eventually Mulder and Scully go to the starlet's house to interview her. And what was really interesting is when they go to that apartment complex, the man that they're interviewing is saying that he hadn't seen her at all in like the 30 years or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I thought that was really interesting. And it was
it was the landlord.
Landlord.
Yeah. They were like, he said he'd never
met
has
her
seen
before.
them. They just pay the rent somehow. I forget how.
Mm-hmm. And that this was the
drop
first
it off,
month that they were having problems with the rent. But
I have a question because I must have missed this. How did they know to go to that house, to the starlet? How did they find out about the starlet? Did the Slayer girl tell them?
I don't remember.
When they went to interview? Okay.
I honestly don't remember. Yeah. So eventually they end up at that place, and you know what? I don't know if I like this episode now that I'm trying to describe it.
It's either got a lot of loopholes or it's very like, I don't know. I don't doubt that I missed a lot of stuff because I was like cringing at the blood. I don't know. Maybe that's the problem with the gore.
It was a good episode, but I guess I wasn't invested in it. The only parts of the episode I was invested in were the Mulder and Scully parts of the episode.
You know, you can do an episode on a cult or you can do an episode on vampires. Really cool. But this one was kind of, I don't know, maybe it was too cheesy.
Oh yeah, there was a song
think this was too cheesy? Oh yeah, there was a musical moment. I actually thought that was kind of interesting. That didn't bother me. The musical moment didn't bother me. You know what it made me think of? It kind of pushed the idea that this was sort of like a cult. Like when you like go to, you know how they would have religious hymns and things?
Yeah.
And this is kind of like their religious like hymn.
Yeah.
Their little like song, their cult song.
I wouldn't say that it's cheesy because X-Files have done cheesy episodes before, like Postmodern Prometheus with the
and
Cher.
A lot of times those are the best.
The Cher episode, I love that episode, and it's very cheesy.
They're usually the best episodes. They are.
But I know that while watching Postmodern Prometheus, I was totally enthralled with it. You know what I mean? And so like Humbug, the one about the circus, the circus acts or whatever. that was also very enthralling, you know, but this one in particular, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know, the recent ones too.
Oh, absolutely.
The one with Murray from Flight of the Conchords,
yeah.
where he's dressed like Kolchak and everything. The one, and he's like a lizard man. And then there's the one...
Mulder and Scully meet the were-monster.
Yeah, that's the one. And then there's the one with...
the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, the Twilight Zone, the whole...
This season.
What is the Mandela Effect episode? Yeah, I mean, you know, those are some of the like best episodes, but
I don't think this one was trying to be super cheesy.
I don't know about this one. It was just, it had really interesting stuff. I think I was like zoning out so much because of the gore. So maybe the gore was a problem for those of us who aren't into gore, because I feel like it caused me to look away a lot. And nowadays, that means I'll look at my phone.
I think this may have been the problem of where they positioned this episode in the series. I don't know. And I don't think this is for anybody's fault, but I think my problem was the fact that I know in my mind that there are only 2 episodes of X-Files left.
So it's like, get to it.
I don't want to waste an episode. There's 2 episodes that I have left.
On Monster of the Week. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I get that.
Exactly.
But I love, you know, I love the Monster of the Week episodes.
But I love the Monster of the Week episodes, especially since, like, in season 10, the previous season, the arc was a little wishy-washy. Like, I wanted the Monster of the Week episodes more than the Alien Conspiracy episodes.
Were there very many in season 10?
There were 2. I think,
there weren't very many.
But they were still a little off. Whereas in this season...
They're very old school. They've been very good. We've said that a lot. And this did feel very old school, too.
It did.
It's just...
It's just the fact that I know there's only 2 episodes left. I don't want to see a vampire cult. I want to see what is going on with Mulder and Scully and William and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I thought it was fine. I think I was just like zoning out, maybe because of the gore, and I'm not anti-gore again.
I think I'm getting worried. I really do. I've actually been thinking about it lately, and I even had a day a few days ago. This is really sad, but I think about X-Files this much. I had a day a few days ago where I was like, why did they do this? Why did they bring them back? I was having like second thoughts about the whole thing because I was like, why couldn't they have just left it at season 9? Which doesn't make sense anyway because they had the second movie. But even the second movie, it ended on a hopeful note.
But a lot of people didn't like the second movie. Is that right? I thought I heard.
Yeah, I went back and watched the second movie again, and it wasn't bad. It was a Monster of the Week episode.
It was like
right.
Seems fine.
But even that, the last scene, it was a hopeful scene with Mulder and Scully. I have a horrible, heart-wrenching feeling that this is gonna end badly for my 2 characters. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm really scared. And you know how you're always telling me I never finish a TV show?
she binge watches television shows, old television shows, and never watches like the last season or the last few episodes. Always stops and just won't watch them.
I'm scared.
And I didn't think about it, but I guess is that why you just don't want to see how it ends because it might not be happy or...
Yeah, that's absolutely it. Because we, in season 9, we got an okay ending. Like, Mulder and Scully were on the bed together and they were like, and Mulder literally said, maybe there's hope. He literally said that. It was hope. That was the end of the series. And now I feel like they're going to kill Scully or they're going to kill Mulder or something's going to happen. And, I don't know.
You can do what I did with Once Upon a Time. I didn't watch that extra season they made because it ended so perfectly.
Yeah, it did. You're right.
You know, it had its bumps and things, especially like even towards the end.
No, but
with the musical episode and stuff. But that last episode was like almost perfect. I mean, there was like one part where I was like, you ruined the moment. They were doing that montage where everybody was happy and everything, and then they had to have this cheesy like little scene where a little note flies in like on an arrow from Robin Hood or something.
I don't
if I remember
that
correctly. And that was fine, but then they had him voiceover read the note.
Oh.
And it totally ruined the moment. But anyway, it was this like really awesome, beautiful like Thanksgiving dinner ending. It was like it was like the second time I saw the episode.
Supper?
It wasn't until like I saw that episode again that I was like, oh, that's the Last Supper.
It was when I was watching it and I said, oh my God, they're doing the Last Supper.
The first time I saw it, I didn't catch that, and I was just thinking, oh, it's Thanksgiving and they're all together. It's so awesome. Mr. Gold is a good guy and he's happy and he's got Belle.
Dude.
And then like the second time I watched it,
I was literally
like, oh,
saw that, and they like
this feels dirty.
they got into the position of the Last Supper portrait, like pouring the pitcher of milk or whatever wine. I don't know, water.
Oh, this kind of thing in the middle was she? I don't know. I don't remember what the painting looks like, but
it's so bad.
Yeah. Anyway, we watched Once Upon a Time religiously, but then they made an extra season, and we'll probably watch it now because it ended and supposedly it has a solid end, or they were going to. I don't know if it's done yet or what, but it's supposed to be the end, so I'll probably watch it. But
well, the bottom line is that I have to watch this last episode of X-Files.
Yeah, well, you might as well.
And I'm just scared. I'm scared.
Yeah, we just write off the whole.
But
last two
that
seasons.
one day that I was having where I was like, I wish they hadn't brought him back. That's not true, because I love that they brought them back, and I think
it's cool. Yeah,
I do love it.
I know what everybody's. I mean, you have all the cynical people that are like, and it's funny because they use the word cynical about this kind of stuff. The whole like bringing things back and nostalgia and everything, and they're like, oh, this cynical stuff. It's for money or whatever. But I love it. I love seeing revisiting these old characters. And
I love getting to see them older.
Yeah, and that's cool too.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love because we would have just had to have imagined it. You know what I mean? And the fact that they're still best friends and they're sleeping together, but that's besides the point. They're still best friends. You know what I mean?
I mean, there are ways it can go worse. There's this big thing about The Last Jedi. Nobody's happy with what happened with the characters, the classic characters. We're huge Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
And we still need to do a video about Last Jedi.
Yeah, we do.
But because we never did a review. I mean, I'm not the story writer, and whoever's got the reins of that has it for a reason. They have their right to it, and I'll just take whatever story they give me, and I'll enjoy what's enjoyable in it. And it might not be the way I would have taken the characters. But again, I prefer something a little happy for characters I love.
I think more in particular, I feel like they could have utilized Mark Hamill a little bit better.
Oh yeah, well we'll get into that in a video, but it would have been nicer to see more.
Yeah, exactly.
With the classic characters, and if anybody they could have kept going with, it was Luke. I mean, he could have. They should have kept him around longer.
I mean, they'll probably bring him back as a spirit.
I'm sure he'll be a ghost for as long as he'll do it. But or at least one more movie. That might be all.
But we should get back to X-Files.
We're getting back to X-Files. Just saying, it can go bad, but I mean, it's not our story to tell. I feel like when fans complain, it's like it's not your, you feel like you own the stories,
I'm not complaining though.
And
it's okay. These characters, and I know you guys feel the same. They are okay, and I'm about to start crying right now.
I did like Last Jedi though.
I'm about to start crying right now. Like they are so. I'm so attached to these characters.
Then about X-Files, right?
Mulder and Scully. Yeah, like so attached.
You are crying.
Yes, I'm crying.
That's funny. See, that's how I am about Star Wars, but...
And I'm worried for them. So, they're like my friends.
I don't, and I will be upset if it ends, in some horrible way. But at the same time, I feel like because we caught up with them when they were older, and they did have like a long history together.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't go perfect, but it still had its Last Jedi aspects, like not getting to keep their son and all that, and not staying together. But
I guess
they're still together, so
I don't know.
Even if it ends badly, they've been, in a sense, they've been together all this time, and that's really, I think it's been good. I think it's good. I think it was good to catch up with them and see that in a way they're still together.
Oh, and I really enjoyed the episodes they brought us in these later 2 seasons.
And I mean, the characters aren't going to live forever. I mean,
I know.
You're going to have to,
let go.
You don't have to show us that, but if you bring it back and then one person doesn't want to stay on the show, which is the problem. That's the whole problem. And they have their reasons, I'm sure. But
I guess I just don't want to see one of them die. I don't want to see the death.
I mean, you can either end the show and not kill anybody off, just be the end of the show.
Yeah.
Or if you want to keep the show going.
I would much prefer that.
Yeah.
Please, let's just have that.
So you want this to be the end of the show if it's true that if somebody's not coming back.
If this is not the end of the show, I would much prefer it to be something, and I know this is not the ideal situation, but David Duchovny has said he wants to come back. Perhaps you just have him come in every now and then into whatever you're doing with the show, and have him mention, oh yeah, Scully's doing great. I don't know, you know what I mean?
That kind of thing.
That kind of a thing. It's not ideal.
Yeah, I don't like that kind of thing, but
if you're gonna continue it, then please do it that way. Just don't kill one of my characters. Just don't do it. Don't do it.
There are ways they can keep the show going without Scully, but yeah, none of them are ideal. And if they would try to make, again, just really quickly, like they're doing with Star Wars, they have to continue it by creating new characters.
Right.
Now on X-Files, they've tried to do that. They've tried to bring in like new agents all the time.
They tried to do that several times.
It's just not X-Files. It's not X-Files.
It never works. And I'll tell you why it never works. Because this is a two-person crusade.
Totally the characters.
It is their crusade.
It's their story.
It's not...
I mean, unless you just totally rebooted it.
Oh God, please no.
Well, I mean,
please, dear God.
But someday, that will happen. Someday, for future generations, there will be an X-Files show.
No.
With new actors playing Mulder and Scully.
No.
And it's gonna happen.
No.
Why do you care if they do that? They've done it. They did it with Dark Shadows, and you love the '90s one.
But I grew up with the 90s one. I started watching
But you love the
70s
one.
Because I went back and watched the 70s one.
But look, if they had that attitude, we wouldn't have the 90s one. And it's awesome. And a lot of people who love the 70s, a lot of them love the 90s one.
I can't handle that, man. I can't do that.
You know a lot of Dark Shadows people from the old show.
Yes, and
you know actors from Dark Shadows from the old show, but
I do.
Do the fans of the 70s show, do they not like to talk about the 90s show?
Actually, most of them are respectful of the 90s show, and they have a pretty good opinion of the 90s show. It's the Johnny Depp movie that they hate.
I started with the 90s show also. That's how I got into
They still have, their attachment is to the 60s
The Johnny
show.
Depp movie could not be further away from anything that Dark Shadows is.
Right.
Yes, he's a vampire, the lead character, that's it.
My friends, their attachment is to the 60s show.
We're going to have to do a video about the Johnny Depp Dark Shadows.
I'm going to have to do a video about Dark Shadows because, I have footage from this past year.
We will have to do a Dark Shadows show at some point.
I have footage of going to Collinwood
you
and
have
stuff.
footage you haven't shared with me, yeah. Okay, but back to X-Files. But yeah, that's my point. It's like, sometimes those revivals... They tried to do a revival of Kolchak and it was shit. Okay. And the lead actor is a great actor and everything.
I love him.
That's not the issue.
Stuart Townsend.
But it was just not Kolchak in any way. except for the monster hunting.
So I've said this a couple of times. The one reboot or whatever that I would be okay with would be an X-Files origins story, which
Going back to when
have
Mulder was a kid?
nothing to do with Mulder and Scully.
Okay.
It would be about the original agent who started the X-Files, which was in the 50s.
That would be interesting. Ooh.
It would be awesome.
Yeah.
They need to do that. And
that sounds cool. I like that.
I'm pretty sure that the person and I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm pretty sure in that episode where Mulder meets that man, he was Kolchak. He was.
Oh, did Darren McGavin? He played.
Pretty sure.
He played that character.
Pretty sure, but I could be wrong.
Well, I know he was on an episode. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you might be right.
There was also another older man that I could be mixing that up.
Yeah, I don't remember the episode, but Darren McGavin was on an episode.
But holy mackerel, that would be amazing! A 1950s X-Files? I would totally see that.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
The start of the X-Files, yeah.
But that's not what they're gonna do.
The last season could end with the shot of Mulder entering into the FBI. I don't know, some guy just like the back of him walking into the
Mulder.
FBI.
Digital Mulder.
I would be so happy with that.
It'll be some scene where he meets Mulder when he's a little boy.
Oh yeah.
It'd be something like that.
Like
and then gives him his hat or something.
Yes.
It's something like that. But no, yeah, that's a cool idea. I mean, I would totally watch
I wish
that.
they would do that.
But I don't think that's the idea right now. I think the idea is another season. And a reboot. Well, we were talking about reboots though. So yeah, I mean, that would be a better idea than a reboot. But I think eventually, someday, you're going to see a new actor playing Mulder.
Let's not think about that.
A new actor playing Scully.
Let us not think about
Probably down the road. I don't know.
Let's get back to this episode.
Disney owns them now, so you probably will see that.
What are you talking?
Disney owns the X-Files.
I forgot. Oh no!
What? We love Disney.
I know, but they're gonna reboot it. Now I know they are.
They might, like I said, they'll probably make the Williams show. And when they first introduced this vampire slayer girl at first, when they first showed her on scene, I was like, oh, this is a love interest for William. But no, I don't think so. But yeah.
Okay, so back to this episode.
I think they're doing a Mulder and Williams show after this.
That would be awesome. And he mentioned Scully. I don't want to see, even though I love this movie, I don't want to see a Salem's Lot scenario. I want to see, Mulder hanging out with William.
No. Scully will be dead.
No.
That'll be the dead mom, and that's dramatic, and it's like, or else they'll be on a search for the mom.
Who got abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't abduct Scully again.
I don't know. But yeah, they got to do something about the fact that Scully's not going to be on there.
We'll talk about this in a minute when we talk about the preview. So let's get back to the episode.
Oh, are we still on the episode?
Yeah,
I thought we were just done with the episode.
No, we're not. So the episode ends with the Slayer girl slaying the vampire type starlet lady.
Yeah, she just slays the. Yeah, because they capture Mulder and Scully, and they're about to kill them. And then what is that when she comes in and slays them? And
well, a group of because Mulder and Scully go up to this apartment where the starlet is, and then
it's an apartment,
and there's some funny interaction there, and the cult members are like waiting in the shadows, and they jump on Mulder and Scully, and Scully gets pushed down an air shaft or
it's
an elevator shaft?
It's dumbwaiter.
Dumbwaiter. She gets pushed down that, falls so many flights. And Mulder sees that, and of course he's scared out of his mind, and he runs over there, but not before tackling the vampire slayer, because she comes in and slays the main starlet lady, and then he tackles her, and then he kind of gets annoyed with her.
The doctor killed himself, didn't he?
Even Mulder gets annoyed with her. Did you see Mulder's expression?
Oh, yeah. And the doctor killed himself earlier, didn't he?
I don't remember what happened to
I think
the
the doctor slit his own throat, unless I'm for.
Oh, the lady.
Oh, the lady attached to him. Did she kill herself? The sister? Was it the sister?
Oh, I think the sister went down there and slit the throat later on.
I don't remember. Somebody slit someone's throat.
We were zoning out a little bit in this. But right when Mulder
and I like the actor who played the doctor because he was on Dear John. Remember that show?
Yeah.
Dear John.
I do remember watching that show, but I don't remember anything about what it's about.
Oh man, it was Judd Hirsch from Taxi.
Was somebody a doctor?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like the setting was like a therapy for like people who were divorced, I guess.
Okay.
Or left, by their spouses, and they're or something like that. And he was the sleazy one, the guy. I forget the actor's name, but the guy who was playing the doctor here was the sleazy, funny character.
I remember he looked the same.
Because back then, being a sleazy guy was a funny character.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they had
now it's just like, this is wrong, but it is wrong, but it's funny on a TV show. Come on.
So, the episode ends with they get the sister back, and she's. Oh, we forgot to mention that the sister attached herself to that scientist. Anyway, the Slayer goes down there, and she saves the sister, and I guess she slits the throat of the scientist. I don't remember.
She didn't save the sister.
She did save the sister.
She saved the sister? How? They were surgically attached. Rewind this episode.
She cut them apart. I'm pretty
sure. That would have killed them both.
No. I don't know. We have to watch it again.
I think everybody died. Everybody died.
No, everybody didn't die.
Except for the Slayer who went to jail.
No, she saved the sister. Because we see
but
this.
She said, "I know I'm going to jail for killing all these people,"
on.
so she probably went to jail. There's no way that sister was alive after that. Anyway, okay.
Wow, you missed that whole part.
Did she get her deformities back or whatever was wrong with her?
I don't think so.
Huh.
I don't know. So the episode ends with a really important scene of Mulder and Scully back in the church.
Yeah.
And they're having an in-depth conversation about their life together and their relationship,
religious beliefs and faith and stuff like that.
And I guess we'll save that for the shipper count in a minute.
What? This conversation? It was important.
Okay. What do you want to say?
What? It was the big thing, the big moment where
it was.
She whispers something to Mulder.
Oh yeah, the big whisper. Everybody's wondering.
Yeah, you have to bring that up. And apparently the writer said they were never gonna.
Right. The writer of the episode said that she was never gonna reveal what the whisper was. That it is between Mulder and Scully, and that it has nothing. Or it's not going to be revealed in the future. It might have. I mean, obviously, it has to have something to do with the future, but.
And what did she say after she whispered? She was like, she
said, "That's not my 4-year-old self wishing for a miracle. That's me taking a leap forward and hoping that we can do this together."
She said she'd like for them to do it together.
Right. Yeah. And then Mulder smiled, kind of.
So it was either something sexy, or was it they were gonna have another? Yeah,
she
baby.
did look. She looked around the church. She was like, "Who's watching?"
Yeah,
that was weird.
I think that they probably she wanted because they had a whole conversation about her wanting to have another kid.
I think
that was a whole significant thing in a previous episode.
I don't feel like Scully, with William missing, I don't feel like she would be like...
It's either that or let's get back together.
That is what I'm thinking. I think that it's, hey Mulder, let's go get our son and get him and be a family and go forward and be okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's something yeah.
As a family together,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it was. But a lot of people think she's pregnant, which
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think so.
But it seemed like what she said was more of a request or not that couldn't involve that.
This is a shipper moment.
It was more it's not a request, but saying, let's do this thing.
Together.
Not, this has already happened.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a hope for her.
Yeah.
this is a shipper moment, and I'll mention it later anyway, but a big part of the conversation that really struck me was Mulder's guilt. He's always felt so guilty about Scully being in his life, and he just kind of laid it all out there.
Like that he was a lot like with Skinner, the same kind of deal. That he was sort of like holding her back.
Right, exactly.
From having a normal life and being promoted and all that stuff.
Being married to a brain surgeon and having
a bunch of kids and
not having her sister die and not getting cancer.
About his guilt?
Yeah, he's so guilty about it to this day, which, I mean, that's just really sad. And Scully's just like, no, I don't begrudge you any of that, but so it was a very good ending. Basically, this whole episode was good, but I was zoning out and paying attention to Mulder and Scully. I don't know if that's normal or what, but so yeah.
I think it would lose me when it would get too much. I don't get back to. I'm not whining about the gore, but like, it does cause me to look away, especially if it just kind of goes on for a while, which it kind of was. There's like one scene where it's like a lot of gore.
See, that's how I feel about car chases.
And it's I zone out because I'm not really gonna. I don't watch gore like this, like glued to the screen. That's the thing. It doesn't bother me, but I mean, it can make me feel pain and stuff. But and maybe that's partially why I just kind of look away or whatever. And if I look away for a little while, well then I might not look back for a while.
Yeah.
I know you're like that with a lot of, if you get distracted, you might just stop watching. But yeah, so yeah, there were things I missed,
So, it was an okay episode.
It was okay, yeah.
It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't a bad episode. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it, really.
No.
But it wasn't a fave or
I think it was a shame that it just came so close to the end, because I think most people out there are kind of like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Why are we watching this when we could be watching what's happening?
And it's like, it was an interesting subject, but it wasn't like a cool subject. It wasn't like a cool monster. Or anything, you know what I mean?
Well, I enjoyed it, but I feel like it was an episode that you would find in a normal X-Files season. It's like an episode 8 of the season. You know what I mean?
Sure. I don't know.
There's 22 episodes usually.
I don't see how that has anything to do with how good of an episode it was. Where it should fall in terms of seasons. What does that have to do with whether or not it's good?
Like in the series, like in season 9, and people will say season 9 wasn't that great anyway, but I enjoyed it.
So in other words, you would like to see this packed into a season that it sucks in general?
No. No, but actually it did have the feel.
Could you just bury this episode over there with a mediocre season?
It's really interesting because the Mulder and Scully parts of this episode were a solid season 5. It reminded me of a solid season 5 episode. This is like
nerd talk, but this is like Star Trek.
Okay, I'm talking to my fellow nerds. So
I'm a nerd too.
Right, you guys. Yeah. Okay. So the Mulder and Scully parts of this episode were very much like season 5-ish Mulder and Scully episodes. Okay. The other parts of the episode were very much like seasons 7, 8, 9-ish. More 8 and 9-ish. I don't know.
That doesn't affect the quality of the episode.
It does if you knew the seasons.
It just describes the quality of the episode.
Yeah, but okay.
But it's not like,
So for you non-X-Files nerds out there, you will understand that season 5 was way better than season 8 and 9. Okay?
You mean for the X-Files?
Yes, for the X-Files. So.
So you're basically ranking the quality of the episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
The church scenes and all of that stuff really reminded me of like season 5 with Emily and when Scully was going through all of her religious stuff, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I remember that stuff, and yeah, it was like that kind of thing. It was good. I liked that part. It was, you know, I honestly think besides the gore, also just the fact that the girl Slayer character was just a little bit annoying in her personality.
Well, it was that one line
also,
that she kept delivering too. It was just.
I think that also caused me to zone out a lot. That character.
I will deliver. I will repay. I don't know. It was just.
A little cheesy.
Yeah.
It was a little hokey. It was a little bit. It's like Boondock Saints borderline gets hokey sometimes. Sometimes it full on embraces hokey. I mean, we know.
Yeah.
But that reminded me of trying to be the Boondock Saints. Like this character's trying to be a cool and we just
watched Boondock Saints, so
and it wasn't that cool of a character.
No, exactly.
It was kind of a fail,
right.
It was a fail of trying to be that kind of character.
Yeah.
And I think that also caused me to zone out a lot, and that's. You know, you don't zone out that much on good episodes.
They tried to do this before, and they did it well, and it was with the episode Kill Switch. I don't know if you remember that episode, but I believe that was season 5, and it involved the lone gunman, and it was, gosh, I don't even remember exactly. I need to go back and watch it, but there was this hot... alternative girl, and she was kind of like a badass, and she was helping them bypass the computer system, and it was like she was using the kill switch and
hacker chick.
Yeah, she was like a hacker chick, and like Mulder thought she was attractive, and so did all the lone gunmen, and Scully was just like, you know, in the corner, and but like it was.
In other words, like it's sort of a cliche kind of character that is like.
But it was done well. Yeah. Like she really.
Like a character out of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah,
or something
exactly.
Like that.
It was really good. I even though when I was 13 I hated that girl because she was coming in between Mulder and Scully, and not really because nothing really happened. But like I recognize now that she's a good character. You know, like it was really good. So they've done it before.
It wasn't done that well here.
It just wasn't executed well.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, so general feeling on the episode for me was just, it was an okay episode. It had some big flaws. Mm-hmm. But yeah. But
as always, they had some great conversations with Mulder and Scully.
Yeah, there was some good stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So are we ready for shipper moment?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go for it.
Let's do shipper moment number 1. Oops. Okay, so shipper moment number 1 is the part where we first see Mulder and Scully enter the investigation, and a side comment, but Mulder's little snide interaction with the local law enforcement was pretty hilarious.
Oh, when he was being sarcastically being like, this looks like the work of a vampire slayer. Trying to just freak him out and get him to, go away, basically.
And Scully was like, you did that on purpose.
Yeah. Which was not really a shipper moment, but yeah.
No.
Just
the shipper moment came after, and this isn't really a hardcore shipper moment, but like as a teenager, you might think this would be. But, so Mulder puts his glasses on, which he's never had on before, apparently. And Scully comments on them. She's like, are those new glasses? And he says, yeah, and then while he's wearing the glasses, he says, did you get a haircut? And she says, are you serious? Like, hello, we've been together the last few nights and you didn't notice that I had my haircut. So that's really funny.
Yeah, it was funny. I can see how like an obsessed little fangirl would make a big thing out of that.
Yeah, but, seriously.
But just watching it from my point of view, I didn't really see any
thing
really shippery about it.
No, because like when you're watching it now, they're so comfortable with each other. It's just like a fun little thing.
Oh yeah, and I guess that's a lot of shipper moments because It's like they've already like had they're in a relationship.
Right.
They're in a permanent relationship, guys.
Scully waiting in the this is really, really minor, and I don't know why I really wrote it down, but I would have thought, it was an awe moment. Scully was in the church, and Mulder came in and was talking to her, and she said she was going to be a while, and she said, you can either go or you can stay. And he decided to stay and wait for her. Which I guess kind of shows...
Yeah, that's more shippery, I think.
It is shippery, and it also kind of gives away the ending where he actually tells her, I'm staying here or whatever.
Oh yeah, the ending. Yeah, you're gonna jump to the ending.
No, I'm trying not to. But
that's a big.
But
thing.
The fact that he, it was just like because most.
Yeah.
A friend would just be like, okay, I'll wait for you outside, or I'll see you later.
It's one of those things you do when you're like trying to like let somebody know that you're supportive and everything.
Yeah.
I mean. You don't really want to hang around, and it's like,
especially he doesn't want to be in a church. He even made the comment. He was like, "Well, I didn't burst into flames."
Women always ask you to do things that you don't want to do, and if if you care, you usually will do them.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you absolutely are exhausted or really don't want to, but
so this leads to the church conversation, which would be the third shipper moment. And this conversation was really short, but it was kind of a cute moment. And I mean, it's also a moment between friends where she explained how she became religious or believed in God. And she said that she was praying for her brother who was really sick. But after the third day, she started praying for a puppy. And I thought that was really funny. Just a little story that she shared with him. Mm. But at the end, she ended that with saying that she really needed some hope or some confidence. And then she told Mulder, she looked at Mulder and she said, "That's what you've always had. You've always gone north. You've always gone forward." And it was just a nice interaction. You could see that she loved him and respected him in that moment. So the fourth shipper moment was, again, just Mulder and Scully touching. When he took her out of the trash.
Oh. And him, rescue. He's saving her.
I saved you.
I saved you. No, whenever somebody falls into trash and in a movie, at a TV show and whatever, we always see people survive some horrible fall.
You mean the trash compactor in Star Wars?
No. But that's another thing. But it's like when you in real life fall into a bunch of trash, as you do, you're very lucky anytime you're not injured. Because,
true.
I mean, I throw away horribly deadly things in the trash all the time, like big metal shards and glass and like anything that could totally spear you. So don't fall in the trash. You could be impaled easily.
She didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, everybody's always fine when they fall in the trash in the movies, and it's like, there's things in the trash. It's like, don't jump in a haystack. There's a pitchfork in there.
Oh, yeah.
And it is ready for you.
Well, the shipper moment was when Mulder pulled her out of there.
Yeah.
And then he told her that she stank or she smelled or something. It was cute. Mm-hmm. They were holding each other for a second there. It was very, damsel in distress-ish. What?
I don't know.
We can't be old-fashioned anymore.
We cannot be old-fashioned, guys. We cannot have damsels in distress.
Okay. The final shipper moment. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 shipper moments this episode. The final one would be the final church scene with Mulder and Scully just kind of talking and sharing their whisper, whatever that was, but it was definitely a move to go forward together, and Scully wants that. I think the main shipper, well, the whisper and her hope for the future and him lighting the candle all romantically, that was definitely shipperish. But the fact that he actually took that stand and said, I don't know if God is listening, but I'm listening.
Oh yeah, that was a big time shipper.
Yeah, he was like, I'm listening, I'm here. And he like kept reiterating it too. He was like, I'm listening, I'm here. You know, this is my choice. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that was hardcore.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was one of the biggest ones, yeah.
And the fact that he felt so guilty about, I mean, and that breaks my heart. That makes me so sad. And she's like, look, you know, I wouldn't have, guys don't get that. Girls don't get that either. Like, somebody's not going to stay with somebody if they're not like totally in love with them, even though they still feel guilty about, you know what I mean?
You mean over guilt? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But it's nice for him to say that, I guess, you know, even though it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
So anyway, he loves her, she loves him. They're together. Let's see what happens in the last episode. I'm scared. I'm very scared.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want it to be to go horrible.
Which brings us to the trailer. The trailer for the next episode.
Yeah.
We saw Mulder asking that new guy who we don't know who he is. He was asking why everybody wants his son. We saw Mulder interact with his son, which is really exciting. We saw Scully telling him that he needs to come back alive and everything depends on it. We saw Mulder saying, for so long I've believed. We saw, and I don't know what that is, but he had the most distressed look on his face, and it scares me. I don't know if he's talking about, for so long he believed that William was his son. For so long he believed that his sister was taken. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
It's gonna be like there's no aliens or anything. It's all fake.
That would be really freaky.
I was getting that impression, like from, I don't know, at some point I don't know,
that it's all men.
That I was getting the impression that they were going in that direction, but then, like, what the heck? I mean, we've seen the first movie.
What if, you guys? What if this? I mean, this kind of doesn't make sense because the smoking man hadn't met Scully until a certain point in his life. But what if the whole point of the smoking man just being involved with and like screwing with their lives is the fact that he's just in love with Scully? And it's just like a personal thing.
Well, he should be, because if you remember my theory from last week, the smoking man is Mulder from the future, possibly from a parallel time.
That is so ridiculous and horrible.
But it
don't say that.
Makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
No.
It could be from one of those evil parallel times too.
That makes no sense, okay? None.
Stop a lot of loose ends that it ties up.
Stop putting more horrible things.
There's so many possibilities.
It makes no sense. So, yeah, I haven't seen Mulder look this distressed in a long time. The only time I've seen him look this distressed was when Scully was taken, the first time she was abducted, when his mother died, and now this. When his father died, he was really distressed too. This is freaking me out. So, we'll just have to see what happens. I don't know what to say. But I'm excited about the preview. I'm very scared, but I'm excited about it. And I feel like this is worthy of 2 hours, but I don't think they're going to do that.
Can't imagine them not doing 2 hours unless they know that they've got another season coming.
True.
But maybe they do know that, like, maybe their plan, like maybe they feel like even without Scully, they have to have another season to wrap it up. Maybe. I don't know. But
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't conceive of them wrapping all this up in one episode, especially one regular time.
And once again, I think that's what bothered me about this episode. The
is
fact
that it wasn't used for
that it wasn't used
as a part one.
Why are you gonna cram everything in one episode? Don't do that. That's how things turn out bad.
Well, again, if it's a 2-hour episode,
that's
but it probably
fine,
isn't.
But it probably isn't
because they haven't said anything in the trailers, right? That we watched.
Usually it says a special 2-hour event.
Yeah.
And they're not doing that. But we did see, what was it, a Russian preview?
We saw like a Russian preview. Somebody
and they showed different clips.
On another video, on another channel, somebody shared that.
There were different clips. There was a clip of Scully grabbing Mulder's hand when he was all distressed and saying that he believed for so long. And then there was a shot of Mulder hugging William. There was a shot of William laughing with Mulder, and Mulder was like, "Why are you laughing? This is serious." There was a lot of stuff going on. One thing, and other people have mentioned before, and I was wondering about it, why is Scully not going on this adventure with Mulder? Is she sick? Is she pregnant? Is she having to do is she having to man the computer behind the scenes or something while he's doing stuff, security? I don't know. I hope she's not sick. I hope she's not the one who ends up with the big virus at the end instead of Mulder. Although I don't want Mulder to die either, but I don't know what's happening. I feel like there's something wrong with her because we see her there's a shot of her looking into the mirror like she's almost sick. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. There's so many things that Mulder could be talking about that he believed in for so long. Bigfoot. Anything.
True.
Nessie. Anything.
The Jersey Devil.
The Jersey Devil. Chupacabra.
Yeah.
Everything.
Little Green Men.
Well, yeah. We've seen those though.
That goes without saying.
Okay. So is that about it for that?
I think that's it.
Then
I think that wraps it up.
before we wrap up, we usually show a little merchandise moment.
I don't have anything tonight.
There's something right over there on the table. Grab it. Right there.
What are you talking
Go over to
about?
that table and
Oh!
grab it. She's got like a piece of merchandise right here.
I'm back. Look at this cup.
You didn't even know what
It's a pint
merchandise
glass.
is lying around.
Stop. This is my X-Files pint glass. It's got Mulder and it's got Scully and it's very retro X-Files. I'd say X-Files Fight the Future pictures right here. I got Mulder, 1998 Mulder and Scully. And then we have like 2000 Scully right there.
Yeah, you turn it around so you
And
show the backside.
yeah, and then you have like 2000 Scully right there and 2000.
You gotta turn it, you're not
2001 Mulder right there.
Give it a full turnaround up with the camera like.
Ugh. And I got this off of the Fox store.
There you go, keep going. Yeah.
And I got
very
a set
nice.
of 2 or
Yeah,
something.
I've got one too.
Okay, so we have a set
You
of
got
2.
me one also.
And they're from the Fox store, and they do have, I believe there's a sale going on right now because they're trying to get rid of stuff.
Wow. Oh. Ew.
So check it out.
Because pretty soon it's gonna be like different actors
No.
as Mulder and Scully. And all the merchandise will change.
Don't say
And they'll finally
it.
have an X-Files land at Disney World, but it'll be the new X-Files with different characters, different people.
Oh my god! Would they ever build an X-Files land?
Yeah, and it'll be totally based on the reboot. It'll be totally based on the reboot. It won't be it'll be it.
That would make me so happy.
Disney's
Not the
Hollywood
reboot,
Studios.
just the X-Files land.
Yeah.
Alright, guys. So
Disney
that's
Channel
cool.
actors in the roles of
Stop it.
Mulder and Scully.
Alright.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
We'll see you.